Good morning students. How are you all? Hope so you all are fine. So kids, in our last video I told you that today we going to have a quick revision of our chapter 2. So kids, in this chapter what we have learned? Yes, in this chapter we learned about living and non-living things. We also saw the difference between living and non-living things. We learned how living things differ from non-living things. Clear? We learned through the certain characteristic. First things, what are living things? Kids, our world is surrounded by many things, right? Many beautiful things. Nature has given us many things like sun, moon, star, earth, etc. So those things nature given us were called as an natural things. And the same way, there were certain things which human beings has developed, have created, like roads, buildings, this mobile phone, etc. So the things which were all human beings made were called man-made things. Clear? And now, what are living things, dear? Yes, plants, animals, human beings, etc. were called as an living beings which have life in it. There were certain features which were present in the living beings which we will learn in which I will explain you now. Clear? Then what are non-living things? Yes, like roads, buildings, aeroplane, etc. were the non-living things which does not have life in it. Understood? Then we saw the difference between living and non-living things. There are certain characteristics, we'll see one by one. Alright, number one which we have learned is the need for breathe. Living things can breathe. They need air. In order to stay alive, they need to breathe. Clear? So what is the first characteristic which we learned is the need for breathe. Means all living things need to breathe. In order to stay alive, they need to breathe. Clear? So different organs were involved. When we have a look into human beings and some animals, they breathe through nose and lungs, but it is not same in all animals. When we have a look into a grasshopper, it having air holes at the top, so that were used for breathing. In case of aquatic, some aquatic animals like fish, the gills were present on their body which is used for breathing. Understood? Whereas in plants you can see it having a tiny the leaf in the tiny pores present on the leaves were used for breathing. That is called as a stomata. Understood? Non-living things does not need to breathe as it does not have life in it. Take an example of your sofa or bed. Understood? Clear what I mean to say? Now, the second characteristic which we learned is the growth. Living things grow. We have learned through a very small examples how the baby grow from infant to how it grow day by day. At the end it becomes like us, like a parent. So the same way the animals also grow. Clear? Plants also grow, but it show their growth in certain moment. For example, when you pour a seed in sand, after some days it become a big small plant and then it will grow to a big tree. So the plants also keep on growing. So what we have learned, the second characteristic is that living things grow whereas non-living things never grow. Your sofa grow? No, the size of the sofa remain same. Clear with these things? Any doubt, my dear? Then we saw the feel, the sensing the changes. Living things can feel the changes around them and they can respond accordingly. Clear? Whereas non-living things does not have fear. We learn through a small examples. If we fell down, we get pain, we get tears. That is the living beings can feel the things around them. Non-living beings cannot feel. Understood? So how living beings feel? With the help of the sense organs present in the body. Clear? but the sense organs and all were not present on the plants. So how the plants can sense the things? They can also sense the things through certain, they can show through certain movement. For example, if the weather gets changed, the plants can feel it, and in the autumn you can see the plants shed their leaves. So in this way the plant shows the sensation clear. So the plants, when they are kept in a shaded area, it grow towards the sunlight. So that is the feeling they have felt, and they show their response. So the plants can also respond accordingly. The next very important characteristic is the need for food. All living beings need food because our body requires energy to perform any activities. That energy we get it from the food we eat. Understood? So living things need food, whereas non-living things does not require food. Understood, my dear? Then the another important characteristic is the movement. Living things move from one place to another place. They move for three main reasons: in search of food and water, in to protect themselves from the enemy, and to find a shelter. So this type of movement, this type of movement is called as a locomotion. Understood? The different organs were used in this movement. Different animals moves with the help of the different organs. For example, we human beings, how we move from one place to another? With the help of our legs. We use our two legs. In case of dog and other animals, they use their four legs. It is not same. When we have a look in the birds, it uses their wings to move. How about plants? Plants move. Yes, plants also move, but they don't have legs, they don't have wings. They show that movement. As I said, when the plants were planted in a shaded area, it grew towards the sunlight. So this way the plant shows its movement. Another example is a touch me not plant. As I told you, when you touch the leaves of the touch me not plant, what happens? The leaves will get closed. The moment you touch it, the leaves get closed. After the touch is withdrawn, after some time when the touch get withdrawn, the leaves get reopened. Understood, my dear? So this is the very important characteristic. And now the last characteristic which we learned is the reproduction. Living beings reproduce. Living things produce more of their own kind. This is called as a reproduction. Different types of living beings reproducing in different ways. For example, how plants reproduce. Plants reproduce the seeds, and through that the new plant comes. So this is the way how the plant reproduce. When we have a look into the animals, there are two ways. Some animals give birth to the baby, whereas some animals, what happens? They lay egg and the baby hatch from that egg. Understood? The animals which give birth to the babies and feed the babies, for example, human beings, they were all called as mammals. Understood? Now, whereas there were some animals, they lay eggs and the babies get hatched from that eggs. Clear? For example, you can see the crow, duck, etc. Understood? Non-living things, these all features were not present. The non-living things does not reproduce, they don't need food, they don't show their movement, they don't need to breathe. Understood? They can't feel the things around them. So these all the characteristics were absent in the non-living things. Understood, my dear? So these were all the things which we have learned in our previous videos of chapter 2. Now I'm going to show you a small video clip where you will see all these things at one glance. It is a quick revision video. Please have a look into the video.
Living and non-living things. Dear students, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe the characteristics of living things and differentiate between the living and non-living things. You and I are living beings, right? But why are they called as living? Living things are called as living as they have life and they can move around. But plants do not move and still they are called living. Non-living things cannot move, but clouds move. So how can they differentiate between the living and non-living things? Let us learn what all living things can do. They need food to survive, show growth from baby to youth and from youth to old age, breathe in and breathe out air, respond to stimuli, reproduce to give birth to new ones of their own kind, excrete waste products from their body, and they move their bodies. All these features are exhibited by both plants as well as animals. Let us see how. First, let us talk about food. Both plants and animals need food. Animals need food in the form of plants or other animals. And plants need water and minerals to survive. Animals grow in their height and change their physical appearance with increase in age. Plants grow in height and girth as they mature. Both plants and animals breathe. Animals take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. And plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen during the day. And at the night, they take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Animals get hurt and cry, close their eyes in bright light, etc. This is their response to stimuli. And plants turn towards sunlight. Leaves of some plants droop when touched. It is the plant's response to stimuli. Did you know that mimosa is a plant whose leaves droop as soon as you touch it? Animals give birth to babies or lay eggs when they want to produce their own kind. Plants, on their part, have fruits and seeds which form new plants. Whatever waste the body of plants and animals produce is given out by a process called excretion. Animals excrete through sweat, urine and feces, and plants excrete water from its tips. Finally, all living things can move. Animals move from one place to another. In plants, water, minerals and food move around in the plant body. Living things exhibit all the above characteristics at some stage in life. Non-living things may move, grow and respond to stimuli. For example, clouds grow bigger and bigger until they drop as rain. Also, they move across the sky, but they cannot do most of the remaining activities. Did you know that paper and wood are dead today, but they come from plants which are living? All living things need food, they grow, respire and respond to stimuli. They also reproduce, excrete and show movement. Plants and animals have different ways of exhibiting these traits, but both exhibit all these traits. Non-living things mostly do not need food, they do not respire, they do not reproduce, or they do not excrete.
Okay kids, did you watch the video? So what we have learned in the video? Yes, we have learned about the living and non-living things. We also saw the features of the living and non-living things. Right? Well, with this the chapter gets over. I believe that you understood this chapter. In case if you have any queries, please make a note in your rough book. In our doubt clearing session, we will look into it. Alright. And in our next chapter and in our upcoming videos, we will start with the next chapter, which is about the animal world. Till then, bye-bye.